Before I even get into this video, I want to give y'all like a little update. Like I've been using the little community tab and trying to keep y'all updated a little bit here and there with stuff outside of YouTube. Well, I went to court today over the neighbors that I've been having issues with, right? You know what happened? They didn't even show up. How are you not gonna like show up to a court case over you neglecting your dogs and being a nuisance to the entire neighborhood, by the way? How are you not going to show up to that case? And the best part, they've been an issue for the animal control place since 2022, buddy. So, you know what they did in favor of me or in favor of the people not being there at all? They have to pay $200 per each photo that I've taken and sent to animal control since January/February. It is June. And the very last photo I took of their dogs was a couple days ago. So that's a lot of money, dude. And you know what's funnier about that? A leash or lead for backyards for dogs costs maybe up to $20 at a Walmart, which is just down the road. They could have, at any point since 2022, gotten a lead and put their dogs on it in their backyard so they wouldn't run around. But now they have a pregnant dog who had puppies, right? And now they are legally required to hand them over as soon as the pups turn 8 weeks. This is why I don't like a lot of people. You see? You feel me? I would have loved to gone further with the case, but the other issues I have would be in civil court, and I just don't give a shit at this point because they're already gonna have to pay so much anyway to the state as is. They would never be able to pay what I want them to pay me. Okay? But if they keep letting their dogs out and about, then I just might. Because you're not about to scare children to the point that they don't want to go outside because they're not sure if the dogs are friendly or not. Okay? You're not gonna let your dogs roam and eat people's food off their own back porches. Okay? Some people should not own pets, and that is a prime fucking example of it, if I say so my damn self. So, even though the case didn't get exactly what I would have wanted, they still screwed themselves. And for that, I say fuck them and fuck every other neglectful ass fucking person. Okay? Anyway, moving the hell on. Like, I just got home, like, maybe an hour ago. Yeah, I'm eating popcorn. So, anyway, let's get to going on this video, right? So, let's talk about Asylum Blackout. This is a redo of a video I did when I first started this channel. That video has since been deleted due to copyright, but this one, I'm just going to start speaking on it, okay? We are going to talk about a film that takes working the night shift to a whole new level of terror. It's Asylum Blackout, also known as The Incident. Okay? It was released in 2011. It is a horror thriller directed by, give me a moment, Alexandre Courtes, with the screenplay by S. Craig Zahler. It's a story that unfolds in the most unexpected and horrifying ways inside the walls of Sands Asylum. The film centers around George, played by Rupert Evans, and his bandmates Max and Ricky, who work as cooks in the asylum for the criminally insane. They're just trying to make ends meet while dreaming of rock stardom. But as they say, when you play with fire, or like in this case, when you work in an asylum, things can get heated. Their routine job takes a turn into a nightmare when a massive thunderstorm hits, causing a power outage. The security system fails, and the inmates, led by the menacing Harry Green, take over the facility. What follows is a desperate fight for survival. It is dark, it is claustrophobic, and it's brutal. The tension is palpable as the line between sanity and madness blurs. Okay? The film does, in my opinion, an excellent job of building suspense and a sense of dread. The performances, especially by Rupert Evans, bring a raw and gritty realism to the screen. But Asylum Blackout isn't just about scares, it's a commentary on the fragility of the human psyche, the fear of the unknown, and what happens when the structures we rely on collapse. Okay? Is Asylum Blackout worth your time? If you're like a fan of psychological horror with the dash of survival thriller, then absolutely, dude. Like, it's a film that might fly under the radar, but delivers where it counts. If you're looking for movies that share a similar vibe to Asylum Blackout, here's some recommendations that might intrigue you. Bone Tomahawk from 2015, the brutal western that blends horror elements, directed by S. Craig Zahler, who also wrote the screenplay for Asylum Blackout. Brawl in Cell Block 99, 2017, another Zahler film. Like, this one is a gritty crime thriller with a descent into violent and hellish prison environment. The Incident, also known as Asylum Blackout. This film shares the same title, but is a different movie, focused on a group of friends' nightmarish experience. We Are Still Here, 2015, a horror film set in a New England home where the past's horrors are very much alive. The Devil's Rock, 2011, set during World War II. Yeah, World War II, bro. This film involves commandos, Nazis, and a demonic presence. The Innkeepers from 2011, centered around the last two employees of a haunted hotel that's going out of business. You're Next from 2011, a home invasion thriller with a twist blending dark humor with intense horror. The Pact from 2012. A woman uncovers a terrifying family secret after her mother's mysterious death. This one, I feel like some of you actually have seen, like, before. This one is Absentia, 2011. I've heard this one, like, around, but I can't remember it for the life of me. This woman links a mysterious tunnel to a series of disappearances, including that of her husband. As far as lesser-known horror movies that share a similar atmosphere, might just be the hidden gems you're looking for. I've got a list right here. Sanatorium, 2013. A found footage film that follows a paranormal reality show crew as they explore an abandoned sanatorium. Stonehurst Asylum, 2014, also known as Eliza Graves. This film is a gothic thriller inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The System of Dr. Tar and Professor Feather. The Void, 2016. I feel like this one was very popular on Netflix. So this is set in a hospital that like combines Lovecraftian horror with body horror as the protagonists face unworldly creatures. Wow. The Power from 2021, a British horror set in a hospital during the 1970s where a young nurse must work the night shift during a power outage. Dark Floors, 2008. This is a Finnish horror film featuring the band Lordi, which, if you've never heard of them, check them out. Where characters find themselves trapped in a hospital with supernatural occurrences. These films should provide you with plenty of chills and thrills, and they might just be the perfect addition to your horror collection. As far as the reception of Asylum Blackout, it was very mixed, as you can imagine, right? Here's like a little summary of how it was received. The film holds an average IMDb audience rating of 5.6 out of 10, indicating a polarized audience response. Some viewers appreciated the movie for its plot, setting, and intensity, while others felt it fell short in certain aspects. It was nominated for the Golden Raven, the highest prize at the Brussels International Fantastic Film Festival, suggesting that it was recognized for its contribution to the horror genre. Users on IMDb, okay, suggest that while Asylum Blackout is considered a good movie with like creepy setting and a substantial amount of gore, some viewers were left frustrated and disappointed by the end of the film. Okay, I'll give you that. But I'm gonna say this again. Don't fucking listen to IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes ratings for every fucking film you choose to watch. Okay? Come up with like your own thoughts on films. Overall, Silent Blackout seems to have found its niche among horror enthusiasts, especially those who appreciate a good plot and a tense atmosphere despite not being universally acclaimed. Asylum Blackout has faced several criticisms despite its unique premise and intense atmosphere. Some specific points of critique that were highlighted by reviewers. Some critics felt that the film built up an atmospheric spell, but was a bit short on delivering a convincing payoff, leaving people wanting more. The movie tried to be smarter than it actually was by delivering an unnecessarily ambiguous ending, which some viewers found unsatisfying. While the oppressive atmosphere was intentional, some critics described the film as a seriously oppressive piece of work, which might not appeal to all audiences. Not every fucking movie's gonna be for every fucking one. Okay? Some audience members expressed frustration and disappointing with the end of the movie, feeling the filmmakers tried to make it into something it didn't need to be. These criticisms suggest that while Asylum Blackout was effective in creating psychological terror in a claustrophobic setting, it may have faltered in delivering a fully satisfying conclusion for some viewers. Oh, fucking well. Boo hoo. Let's ring it back real quick. So, Asylum Blackout was released in 2011, right? It was a year that saw a diverse range of horror films. To compare, here's like a little overview of some notable horror films from that year and how Asylum Blackout fits within that landscape. First one, let's bring up Insidious from 2010. It was a supernatural horror that became a hit for its chilling story and jump scares. It was praised for reviving a haunted house genre with minimal gore. Scream 4. Bro. Scream 4 was back in 2011. Can you believe that? The fourth installment of the popular slasher series brought a self-aware twist to the genre, combining humor with horror. Final Destination Final Destination 5. They were getting out of hand, okay? Known for its inventive death scenes and 3D effects, it continued the franchise's legacy of suspenseful, premonition-based horror. The Thing, the 2011 version. A prequel to John Carpenter's classic, it received mixed reviews for its CGI effects and lack of suspense compared to the original. Everyone's gonna compare everything to the fucking original, okay? Paranormal Activity 3, 2011. This found footage horror prequel offered a backstory to the series' mythology and was well received for its effective scares. Ooh. This next one. Human Centipede 2. Full sequence. Now, I will admit, I enjoy the Human Centipede movies. Okay, probably more than most people. It's a film, okay? Notorious for its extreme body horror and shock value, it was met with controversy and disgust, but not by me. Grave Encounters 2011, a found footage film set in an abandoned psychiatric hospital. It gained a cult following for its atmosphere and scares. Compared to these films, Asylum Blackout was more of a niche movie. It didn't have the wide release of, or marketing push of films like Insidious or Scream. It leaned more towards the psychological and survival horror aspects, similar to Grave Encounters, but with a more realistic setting. While it may not have achieved the same level of commercial success or cultural impact as some of its contemporaries, Asylum Blackout offered a unique and intense experience for fans of the genre looking for something different than the mainstream horror movies at the time. Talk about Alexandre Courtes for a sec. He was known for his background in music video direction and design, approached the intense scenes in Asylum Blackout with a focus on harsh realism. His directorial debut in feature films was marked by creating a seriously oppressive atmosphere, like I've been saying, that was both realistic and brutal. The film's setting in an asylum during the power outage provided a natural tension, which Courtes amplified through the use of darkness and the character's growing desperation. Cortez's experience in visual arts and music videos likely influenced his approach to the film's intense scenes. He would have been adept at using visuals to create mood and tension, which are critical in horror films. The realistic portrayal of the character's plight, combined with the claustrophobia, helped to create a visceral experience for the audience. The script, written by Craig, also played the significant role. His writing ensured that the characters behaved plausibly throughout the ordeal, adding to the film's intensity and making the violence and survival aspects more convincing. Overall, Cortez's approach to directing it involved a blend of visual artistry and a commitment to creating a realistic atmosphere that would engage and terrify viewers. The pacing of suspense and action in Asylum Blackout was carefully balanced to maintain tension and engage the audience throughout the film. Here's how some of the balance was achieved, right? The movie starts off with a slow pace, focusing on character development and setting up the atmosphere. This approach allows the audience to become invested in the characters and the setting before the chaos begins. You don't need to have frickin' murder and all that stuff as soon as the fucking opening credits are done. As the story progresses, the suspense gradually increases. The initial power outage sets the stage for the impending horror, creating the unease, right? Once the real action starts, it is relentless. The film takes the right amount of time to escalate the situation, ensuring that once the violence begins, it is both intense and continuous. You feel me on that? The middle of the film delivers a mix of suspenseful scenes as the protagonists deal with and evade the inmates. This part of the movie maintains the tension while also providing some breathing room between the action sequences, which I appreciate. Okay? Toward the end, the film ramps up the gore and violence, delivering on the promise of a horror thriller. The pacing ensures that these scenes are impactful without feeling gratuitous. Now, sound design. This played a crucial role in enhancing the tension throughout Asylum Blackout. The film's sound design was integral to its atmospheric spell, contributing significantly to the mood and suspense of the cinematic experience. The use of ambient sounds created an immersive atmosphere that heightened the sense of isolation and vulnerability within the asylum. Strategic use of silence followed by sudden noises or music cues amplified the shock value of the scares, making them more impactful. The realistic sound effects during the intense scenes added to the harsh realism of the film, making the violence and chaos more visceral. The sound design also played a psychological role, with dissonant tones and unsettling audio that mirrored the characters' growing fear and disorientation. Consistent with the film's pacing, the sound gradually built dread, with the audio cues becoming more intense as the situation deteriorated. It's good for a late night watch. Why not, right? As far as this video goes, I will end this here. We'll talk to you later. Alright, bye!